Does studying for a few minutes make you feel you have been studying for hours? Do you keep feeling the urge to look at the clock every few minutes while studying? If yes, then you definitely need to improve your concentration so you can study for a longer period of time without getting distracted. Hi, my name is Latha, an International Coaching Federation certified success coach and a certified NLP master practitioner. And in this video, I will tell you how to develop the habit of focus and concentration so you can grasp and retain information easily. For more such informative videos, subscribe to our channel. Simple as that. Being able to focus is very important, and with the right amount of focus, you will be able to achieve things a lot faster. Developing the ability to focus is not only important for your studies, but being able to focus is an indispensable trait that you would need if you want to succeed at different stages of your life. Firstly, the big question is, why should you focus? Unless you focus, you are never going to be able to take any task to completion. Your ability to understand things, your ability to learn new things, and your ability to retain and recollect information depends on how well you can concentrate while learning. Be it studies, learning to drive, learning new skills, your workouts, or even your hobbies. Unless you stay focused, you will never be able to take that to completion. You will be able to complete your tasks a lot faster when you're focused as compared to when you are not. And so, staying focused through a task reduces stress. If you cannot focus for a long time, you will have to understand the reason as to why you have the trouble. One of the most common reasons is when you have too many things running on your mind. When your mind is occupied with a lot of things, it is very difficult for it to stay focused on just one task. You think of 100 things every day, and when these thoughts keep running in your mind the entire day, how can you focus on just one thing? Not easy, right? This does not happen just during studies or while completing a task. Have you ever noticed that you have watched a movie, but the moment the movie ends, you have forgotten almost everything about the movie except for a few parts? That is because once your mind is occupied with a lot of thoughts, these thoughts act as distractions while watching the movie, making it impossible to focus, and without focus, you cannot retain anything in your mind. The next biggest reason you would struggle to focus on one thing is that you probably do not consider the task you are doing to be serious or worthy enough. If you think that whatever you are doing is not important enough, that is when you would take it casually. A casual approach towards anything will lead you to quit even before you start. How many of you have left a lot of work half done? Everyone would have done that at least once in their life. You would start with something and then you just cannot concentrate on it because you then decide that it is not worth doing it. And so, another task half done or incomplete. The next reason you will find it hard to focus is when you do not find what you are doing to be interesting enough. If it is something that you do not really enjoy doing, you will not have the willingness to focus on it hard enough to accomplish the task, and there is a high possibility that you will abandon it midway. If you think you have to do something just because someone has forced you to do it, or if you feel there is no way you can escape the task, you would not be able to give the task the attention it deserves. In such cases, you become impatient and you would somehow hope that the task gets completed by itself rather than giving it the attention it deserves and seeing the task through. And last but not the least, tension is another big enemy of focus. When you are tensed about something, your mind would be occupied worrying about the situation or the outcome rather than the task on hand. This would prevent you from paying attention to accomplishing the task. You would have noticed such instances in sports where the situation takes center stage than what should be done. Like in football, where a last-minute penalty kick that carries a lot of pressure will make some players struggle to kick the ball into the nets. These are the same players who would have completed dozens of passes successfully, but the pressure or the tension will lead them to lose their focus on what they are expected to do. Or in cricket, for example, where a bowler would not be able to deliver the ball in the right line or at the desired length, even though they have practiced every day for hours just to do that. So, being able to cope with tension is of paramount importance. Some students are so habituated to doing multiple things at once that they find it really hard to keep their focus on one task. They are so very used to getting distracted that even trying to keep their focus on one thing for a few minutes will seem like a totally impossible task for them. Now, for students like you, if you cannot focus enough, you will find it extremely hard to complete your studies. But with the right amount of focus, your studies can become a lot easier. Staying focused will help you retain and recall information at a much faster pace. I am sure by now you would have understood the importance of staying focused. It is not just about your studies. If you find it hard to concentrate, you will find it hard to understand issues. Your ability to reason and your ability to understand will also take a beating. If you are going to struggle to understand things, what sort of decisions do you think you would arrive at? I am sure it will not always be the right one. So, it is extremely vital that you learn to give things the right amount of attention, and your studies is a good place for you to start. So, if you feel you cannot focus for a long time, it is time you learned how to stay focused so you can take every task to completion. One of the things I want to do in this video is to break the myth of all the students who think it is a huge challenge for them to focus, and also break the myth of people who think they can never focus. When you spend time with your friends over chats or during personal interactions, have you seen that you are so involved that you can continue the conversation for hours without getting distracted? What about the hours you spend surfing the net? Aren't you completely engrossed in it? What about the video games you play? Aren't you so deep into it that you evade every distraction that walks by? What about the movie of your favorite hero? Aren't you glued to the seat for 2 hours without distractions? What about binge watching on weekends? Some people would not even mind skipping food to watch episodes till the end, isn't it? What do you think all this is? How do you think you can do all this if it wasn't for your ability to focus? Can you imagine how focused you are when you do something you love? So, when you can stay focused on few things for hours, then you can definitely concentrate during your studies as well. Now, why do I always come back to studies? Because Without studying, you will not have the knowledge, and without knowledge, you cannot do anything in your life. Look around you, and you will find millions of examples where people with knowledge have flourished in their life. People who have turned their lives around and become successful only because they put their knowledge to use. Being able to focus is something you can learn. You would be amazed to know how many things you can teach your brain to do. That is what neuro-linguistic programming is all about. NLP deals with the patterns of thinking we build as we grow up. All the experiences we have in life shapes our thinking. We build opinions about people, events, and situations based on the experiences we have. To give you an example, if a teacher tells a kid that he or she is stupid, and whenever the kid would make a mistake, he or she would always remember the teacher's words. Now, we all make mistakes, don't we? But when some people are told they are not smart over and over, as time progresses, they will begin to believe that they are not smart enough, and hence their self-esteem takes a beating. I meet people all the time who lack self-esteem only because such negative thoughts have taken root in their minds, and so they never feel they can accomplish anything. I coach such people to unlearn or remove such negative thoughts that hold them back, and I help people learn new habits to improve themselves and unlearn habits that hold them back. So, how can you develop the habit of focusing or the habit of concentrating? First step is to start small. Start with eliminating your distractions. Learn to identify what distracts you and find ways to deal with it. For most students, their mobiles happen to be the biggest distraction. The urge to chat with some of your friends, or just checking for updates on Instagram, or the game you love to play, they all can prevent you from giving your studies your complete attention. I have a detailed video about eliminating distractions, and you can check it out by clicking the link in the description below. Next step, take regular breaks. While you must focus, do not stress yourself out by setting huge targets for yourself. There will be times when you would want to step away from your books. Do not fight it every step of the way. What I mean is, do not try to eliminate it, because your brain would also need to be fresh. Not too many students can focus hours on the end without any breaks. So take some time off. Give yourself a break for a few minutes. What you need to ensure though is that you take only short breaks and not long ones. It should not happen that you are taking longer breaks and studying only for a few minutes. This will certainly not help you improve your concentration. Even if you take a break for a while, be sure you get yourself back to the main task, which is your studies. You will have to be very sensible here. If you feel the moment you walk away from your books, you will find it hard to regain the levels of concentration, then you should try to keep going as far as possible without a break. On the other hand, if you feel taking a break for a few minutes helps you refresh yourself, if it helps you come back with better focus, and most importantly, you have the discipline to keep your breaks short and get back to the task on hand, then schedule regular breaks. When you are back, refocus and put your mind into what you are doing. Remember, you are trying to develop the habit to focus and concentrate. Habits are formed when you continuously keep doing what you are doing. The same applies here. When you continuously stay focused on a task till you complete it, you are developing a habit to focus. You should know how hard it is for anyone to break their habits, and so Once the habit of focusing till a task is completed is developed, it will become almost impossible to break it. Another thing that you can do is to understand what works best for you. Some students are at their best in the mornings, while some students can focus the most later in the day. So try and figure out what works best for you. Are you an early riser or are you a night owl? Working at the most conducive time for yourself will go a long way in bringing your stress levels down and keeping your levels of concentration up so you can accomplish the most. But make sure it does not completely impact other areas of your life. You cannot stay up all night and miss your classes the next morning or be tired and not so active. So, plan accordingly. Also, knowing what works best for you will help your mind to know in advance that you are ready to study, and hence it will organize itself and prepare to accept the knowledge. It is the same as how we wake up almost at the same time every day and how we go to sleep almost the same time every night. This is because your mind is habituated to your body clock. So, having a specific and dedicated time for you to study will help your mind ready itself up to assimilate the knowledge and retain it. So develop a routine and adhere to it every day. Don't sweat it out if you miss the routine once in a while. What is important is to always have a long-term plan and be completely committed to achieving great results in your studies. As long as you have the goal in your mind and you get yourself back on track to your routine, you should be fine. Next step, break your entire syllabus down into small manageable sections. Start with one section and focus only on what you need to complete, and do not fret about what lies ahead. Your mind should stay only on what you're studying or doing and on nothing else. Do not let your mind worry or think about anything apart from what is it that you are doing then. Do not worry about how much more there is to study, how much more you have pending, how are you going to complete it, your friends, family, exams, teachers, etc. All these will only act as distractions and will only drag you away from your focus, and you will stray away from what you are supposed to do. So, stay present, which means focus only on what you need to complete and do not leave till you complete it. Now that you have the learning, put these to use and see the changes yourself. You will not have to worry about not being able to focus anymore. Instead, once the habit of focusing develops, completing your studies will become smooth sailing for you. You will be able to assimilate and retain information easily when your concentration improves. I am a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner, and I can teach you some tried and tested advanced techniques that are designed to help you increase your concentration levels, help you retain everything you study, so you spend less time studying things over and over. This will lead you to achieve the grades that would help you get into top colleges, and most importantly, prevent you and your family from stressing about your studies. The contact link is in the description below. Also, remember to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel for more such informative videos.